You are welcome. I'm Theophilus Ndubuisi, and I'm glad to welcome you to our today's edition of Keeping It Real. So today we are going to be looking at something very, very crucial, right? Quite disturbing indeed, and it borders on the concept of pornography. All right, we're going to be looking at the statistical record for global pornography, and we live in a society where morality has become the whim of the moment. People tend to take lightly things that have value. We tend to play down on moral values, and the overall impact on this could be seen in so many decadents around us, around our society today. And one of these decadents is pornography. So we're going to be looking at the global statistical record for pornography. And I must let you know that it's one that should arouse our curiosity, evoke a compassion in us to rise to rescue a generation that is in need of intervention. Now, we're going to be looking at first the global statistics as captured in these data. We have the iCovenant website. You could check out these statistics. You could also check out these statistics on fightingthenewdrug.org, right? Now, as of 2020, more than 42 billion visits were made to Pornhub from all around the world. Now, the global statistics currently is about 8.2 billion persons. Now, that means that a fraction of these 8.2 billion persons visited pornographic sites 42 billion times. I want you to think of it. Now, every year, the global pornography industry generates an estimated amount of 100 billion US dollars. Now, depending on where you are watching from, I want you to convert that into your local currency. Now, that will give you an understanding of what is at stake. And if you're a Nigerian, you know that such amount of money in the Naira contest is huge. All of that in pornography. Now, approximately 35 of all internet downloads are related to pornography. It was also discovered that 70% of men aged 18 to 24 they visit pornographic sites at least once per month. Now, there are over 4.2 million adults websites, making up at least 12% of all the websites we have globally. Now, in 2019 alone, a study by IFOP established that almost all men aging between 18 to 24, that is approximately 97%, they consume pornographic materials. Now, according to a 2001 report, there are 420 million pages of pornographic content on the internet. Nearly about 35 of all internet downloads are related to pornography. Now, about 25% of workers have accessed pornographic content on a work computer. According to a study by Nielsen, it was also discovered in 2015 that 75% of women and of course 98% of men were reported to have consumed the internet material, the pornographic materials, at least 6 times in a month. Now, from a 2018 survey, it was discovered that 81% of women have watched pornography at least one, compared to what was obtainable to their men folk, which is about 99%. Now, it was also revealed by the statistics that about 3,000 US dollars spent per second on pornography. Now, it was also discovered that every second, about 28,200 users on the average are watching pornography. So that will give you an estimate of how many people are currently watching pornography, even as we are looking at the statistics. That's quite disturbing, right? Now, every minute, internet users send more than 1.7 million pornographic emails. Now, let us look at it from the context of the US. You see, it was discovered that in the United States of America, every hour, nearly 2 hardcore pornographic videos are released in the United States. Every hour, 2 hardcores. So let's say in 24 hours, we have up to 12 hardcores on daily basis. Times it per month, then times it also per year. Then you have a whopping amount that you begin to wonder, are we really thinking about the mental effect of all of this? Are we thinking about the consequence, the moral consequence? Now let's go on. Every day it was discovered that an average of more than 2 million pornographic movies are rented in the United States. Now every month, nearly 9 out of 10 young men and 3 out of 10 young women in the United States views pornography. All right, let us look at Nigeria. All right, where the context where I'm actually looking at. Now we have in 2015 a study that was made discovered that the monthly average for the number of searches for pornography was about 1,350 attempts or content were being consumed in the internet. And in December 2014, between December 2014 and 2015, that of 2015, it was also discovered that the proportion of searches for pornography relative to searches was higher in Nigeria than in the United States. And currently in Africa, Nigeria has the highest number of internet pornography viewers of any country in the world. Now, let us look at this from the body of Christ, right? Now, it's discovered that 1 out of every 5 pastors uses porn, and they are currently struggling with this pornography. And 1 out of 17 senior pastors uses porn and currently struggling. Only about 7% of pastors reported that their churches have a ministry program for those struggling with porn addiction. Now the question is, with all these statistics available, what is the church currently doing? What is the society doing to ameliorate this condition? Let me ask you, what are you doing to help curtail the effect of this on our youth? You see, it is important we understand that the current statistics as we x-rayed in the ongoing researches. Now, this is not to show that these persons who are currently struggling with pornography they are bad people, no. It simply means they are victims of a system created by those who are promoting this material behind the scenes. It means that if nothing is done, we're going to have a posterity where the issue of sexual immorality will no longer be seen as an obscene factor. Rather, it will become a norm. All right? It will become something that you could buy sex out there just the way you go. You buy toy, you go, you have recreation activities. And so we are raising an alarm that within your circumference, within your environment, we want you to watch. Do not take certain things for granted. It's important to know that among the 42 billion visits to pornographic sites, Africa has one of the greatest fractions of it. And when we narrow it down, we discover that it's not necessarily people who are atheists, that are suffering from this. These are well-meaning individuals who, for one reason or the other, became careless or were oblivious of the consequences of the movies they are watching, the song they are listening to, the the papers they are reading, the social media materials that they are consuming. But you see, the overall effect on this is that some are hooked as an addiction to pornography. That even when they have the intention to live a normal life, there's something abnormal they are struggling with. And a lot of persons who are suffering from pornography are covering it. And this is because of the social stigma that has been created around it. And the essence of this awareness, or the essence of this alarm, is for us to wake up and begin to think within our areas, within our society, within our region, or within your own spheres of influence. What can you do to curtail the upsurge, the continuous projections of sexualized content into the system? It's important, and I will advise, if you're watching, you are a pastor, it's important that within your church you have a unit that are trained manpower. You have a trained manpower unit within your church. Now, in conclusion, what I want to say is, please, if you are watching me, no matter where you're watching from, you are a priest, you are a pastor, you're a reverend sister, you are a clergy person, you are a professional, you are a caregiver, you are a proprietor of a school, you are a teacher, wherever sphere you find yourself, I want you to think of getting a training, getting yourself equipped, all right, on peer moral sex education, or sexual health and addiction rehabilitation training, and of course the issue of mental health trainings. Avail yourself with this strategic knowledge. It will help you, and by the time you could acquire this knowledge, you will see that within yourself it becomes like a spectacle. When you are well informed in this area, it becomes like a spectacle to see clearly things you have not been seeing before. There are certain things that when you look at them, they appear normal, but they are not. Just like HIV/AIDS, people who are suffering or struggling with pornography, they don't look it. It's not written anywhere in their body. All right, and you begin to wonder when you see everyone dressed. You begin to ask yourself, so who are those really committing or struggling with pornography? But the question remains, are there people that struggle with pornography within your environment? You have people struggling within your school, your hospital, your college, your university, wherever you are teaching, wherever you are having impact or influence on people. Do you think there are people suffering from pornography? Now, I bet you may not have a ready answer to this. Why? Because there is no physical effect on those who are struggling with it to indicate that they are struggling. So you might not be able to answer this question, because even the people you might not even think had anything to do with immorality might currently be struggling with it. A lot of persons are struggling in silence because of social stigma. But we believe that when we have a trained manpower force, all right, that will now begin to create awareness on the other hand. And on the other hand, create a platform that helps those who are struggling with it to come out of it. This will go a long way to combat the influx of pornographic material within our society, the consequent, the damages that these things are causing already, to go a long way in containing it. Alright, so we are going to be calling it a day. We look forward to the next edition, where we are going to be looking at something very important. And until then, thank you for joining us. I remain your host, Theophilus Ndubuisi. It's keeping it real. God bless you.